Article 300.4 of the 2020 National Electrical Code addresses the installation of conductors in bored holes in studs, joists, or rafters. The relevant requirement is that where studs, joists, or rafters are bored, the diameter of the hole shall not exceed 40% of the width of the wood member. The interpretation of this rule is that the requirement limits the diameter of the bored hole to 40% of the width of the wood member, be it a stud, joist, or rafter. This specifically means that the diameter of the hole cannot exceed 0.4 times the width of the wood member. Importantly, the National Electrical Code does not specifically dictate the number of conductors that can be run through a bored hole. Other considerations are that the number of conductors that can be installed in a bored hole depends on the size of the hole and the size of the conductors. The hole diameter should be large enough to allow for easy pull-in of the conductors, but it should not be so large as to compromise the structural integrity of the wood member. Conductors should be protected from damage by sharp edges of the bored hole. If multiple conductors are installed in a single hole, they should be bundled together to prevent them from shifting or rubbing against each other. In conclusion, based on Article 300.4 of the National Electrical Code, there is no specific limit on the number of current carrying conductors that can be run in a bored hole in a wood member, provided that the diameter of the hole does not exceed 40% of the width of the wood member. It's important to understand several key aspects of this regulation. Firstly, the primary concern is the structural integrity of the wood member. Shilling holes weakens the wood, and exceeding the 40% limit can significantly reduce its load-bearing capacity, potentially leading to structural failure. Secondly, while the code doesn't explicitly limit the number of conductors, practical considerations come into play. Overcrowding a hole with too many wires can make pulling them through difficult, increasing the risk of insulation damage. Damaged insulation can lead to short circuits, ground faults, and even fires. Thirdly, the type and size of conductors also matter. Larger gauge wires take up more space and generate more heat. The National Electrical Code provides guidelines on ampacity, which is the current carrying capacity of conductors. Overloading conductors by exceeding their ampacity can cause them to overheat and potentially start a fire. Fourthly, it's crucial to ensure that the edges of the bored hole are smooth to prevent abrasion of the wire insulation. Sharp edges can gradually wear away the insulation, exposing the bare conductors. Using grommets or other protective devices can help prevent this type of damage. Fifthly, bundling conductors together can help prevent them from shifting and rubbing against each other. This is particularly important in situations where the wires are subject to vibration or movement. Bundling can be achieved using cable ties or other approved methods. The National Electrical Code also addresses other related issues, such as the proper support and securing of cables. Cables should be supported at intervals specified in the code to prevent them from sagging or becoming damaged. They should also be secured to the studs or joists to prevent them from moving around. When running cables through metal studs, additional precautions are necessary. Metal studs have sharp edges that can easily damage wire insulation. Therefore, it's essential to use grommets or other protective devices to protect the cables from abrasion. Metal studs can also conduct electricity, so it's important to ensure that the cables are properly grounded. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and preventing electrical shock. The National Electrical Code specifies the requirements for grounding electrical systems. It's also important to be aware of local building codes, which may have additional requirements beyond those specified in the National Electrical Code. Local codes may address issues such as fire resistance, smoke detectors, and emergency lighting. Before starting any electrical work, it's always a good idea to consult with a qualified electrician. An electrician can help you ensure that your wiring is safe and meets all applicable codes. They can also provide guidance on selecting the right types of conductors and other electrical components. Improper wiring can be dangerous and can lead to electrical shock, fire, and other hazards. Therefore, it's essential to take the necessary precautions and follow all applicable codes. In addition to the diameter of the hole, the location of the hole is also important. The National Electrical Code specifies that holes should be drilled in the center of the stud or joist away from edges and corners. This helps to minimize the weakening of the wood member. It's also important to avoid drilling holes in areas where there are knots or other imperfections in the wood. These areas are already weaker than the surrounding wood, and drilling a hole in them can further compromise their structural integrity. When drilling holes, it's important to use the right type of drill bit. A sharp drill bit will create a clean hole with smooth edges. A dull drill bit can tear the wood and create rough edges, which can damage the wire insulation. It's also important to drill the hole at the correct angle. The hole should be perpendicular to the surface of the wood member. Drilling the hole at an angle can weaken the wood and make it difficult to pull the wires through. After drilling the hole, it's important to inspect it for any defects. If there are any sharp edges or splinters, they should be removed before installing the wires. You can use a file or sandpaper to smooth the edges of the hole. When pulling the wires through the hole, it's important to avoid pulling them too hard. Over-pulling the wires can damage the insulation or even break the wires. It's also important to avoid kinking or twisting the wires. Kinks and twists can create stress points that can lead to failure. Once the wires are installed, they should be properly secured to the studs or joists. This will prevent them from moving around and potentially becoming damaged. You can use cable staples, cable ties, or other approved methods to secure the wires. The National Electrical Code also specifies the minimum spacing between cables. Cables should be spaced far enough apart to allow for adequate ventilation. This will help to prevent the wires from overheating. In addition to the requirements for bored holes, the National Electrical Code also addresses the installation of cables and notches. A notch is a small cut in the edge of a stud or joist. Notches are often used to run cables around obstructions. The National Electrical Code specifies that notches should not be too deep or too wide. Deep or wide notches can weaken the wood member. The National Electrical Code also specifies that cables should be protected from damage when installed in notches. You can use metal plates or other protective devices to protect the cables. Before making any modifications to your electrical system, it's always a good idea to consult with a qualified electrician. An electrician can help you ensure that your wiring is safe and meets all applicable codes. They can also provide guidance on selecting the right types of conductors and other electrical components. Remember that the National Electrical Code is a complex document. It's important to understand the code before starting any electrical work. If you're not sure about something, it's always best to ask a qualified electrician. They can help you ensure that your wiring is safe and meets all applicable codes. Failing to follow the National Electrical Code can result in fines, penalties, and even legal action. It can also put your safety and the safety of others at risk. Therefore, it's essential to take the necessary precautions and follow all applicable codes. The information provided here is intended for general guidance only. It's not a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician before starting any electrical work. And remember, electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following the National Electrical Code and taking the necessary precautions, you can help to prevent electrical accidents and ensure the safety of your home and family. Let's discuss some additional considerations for running multiple conductors through a single bored hole. Firstly, consider dirting. When multiple current-carrying conductors are bundled together, the heat generated by each conductor can affect the others, reducing their ability to dissipate heat effectively. This can lead to overheating and potentially damage the insulation. To compensate for this effect, the National Electrical Code requires that the ampacity of the conductors be derated. Derating involves reducing the allowable current carrying capacity of the conductors based on the number of conductors in the bundle. The specific derating factors are provided in the National Electrical Code tables. It's essential to consult these tables to determine the appropriate derating factor for your specific situation. Secondly, consider voltage drop. When electricity flows through a conductor, some of the voltage is lost due to the resistance of the conductor. This is known as voltage drop. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or operate inefficiently. The amount of voltage drop depends on the length of the conductor, the current flowing through it, and the size of the conductor. The National Electrical Code provides guidelines for calculating voltage drop. It's important to ensure that the voltage drop in your wiring system is within acceptable limits. Thirdly, consider electromagnetic interference. When electricity flows through a conductor, it creates an electromagnetic field. This field can interfere with other electronic devices, such as computers, televisions, and radios. To minimize electromagnetic interference, it's important to keep conductors carrying different types of signals separated. For example, power cables should be kept away from data cables. You can also use shielded cables to reduce electromagnetic interference. Fourthly, consider future needs. When planning your wiring system, it's important to consider your future needs. You may want to add additional circuits or equipment in the future. Therefore, it's a good idea to install extra conductors or conduit to accommodate future expansion. This will save you time and money in the long run. Fifthly, consider the type of insulation on the conductors. The National Electrical Code specifies the types of insulation that are permitted for different applications. It's important to use the correct type of insulation for your specific situation. For example, some types of insulation are more resistant to heat, moisture, or chemicals. Using the wrong type of insulation can lead to premature failure of the wiring system. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician. An electrician can help you ensure that your wiring is safe and meets all applicable codes. Let's also not forget about the importance of proper grounding. Grounding is a safety measure that provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and preventing electrical shock. The National Electrical Code specifies the requirements for grounding electrical systems. It's important to ensure that your wiring system is properly grounded. Grounding electrodes, such as ground rods or metal water pipes, should be installed to provide a connection to the earth. The size and type of grounding electrode depends on the size of the electrical system. Grounding conductors should be used to connect the grounding electrodes to the electrical equipment. The size of the grounding conductors depends on the size of the electrical system. All metal enclosures, such as electrical boxes and conduit, should be grounded. This will help to prevent electrical shock if a fault occurs. Grounding is an essential part of any electrical system. It's important to understand the requirements for grounding and to ensure that your wiring system is properly grounded. Also, let's address some common misconceptions about running wires through bored holes. One common misconception is that it's okay to drill holes of any size as long as they're not too close to the edge of the stud. This is incorrect. The National Electrical Code specifies that the diameter of the hole should not exceed 40% of the width of the wood member, regardless of its location. Another common misconception is that it's okay to run as many wires as you can fit through a hole as long as they are not overloaded. This is also incorrect. Overcrowding a hole with too many wires can make pulling them through difficult, increasing the risk of insulation damage. It can also reduce the ability of the wires to dissipate heat effectively. A third common misconception is that it's okay to use any type of wire for any application. This is not true. The National Electrical Code specifies the types of wire that are permitted for different applications. It's important to use the correct type of wire for your specific situation. A fourth common misconception is that it's okay to ignore local building codes as long as you're following the National Electrical Code. This is also incorrect. Local building codes may have additional requirements beyond those specified in the National Electrical Code. It's important to comply with both the National Electrical Code and local building codes. A fifth common misconception is that electrical work is easy and anyone can do it. This is not true. Electrical work can be dangerous. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician. An electrician can help you ensure that your wiring is safe and meets all applicable codes. Proper planning and execution are key to a safe and effective electrical installation. Taking the time to understand the National Electrical Code and following the proper procedures can help you avoid electrical accidents and ensure the safety of your home and family.